like saying we need a transportation system. And there's people making all sorts of claims that they've got, you know, it's bubblers and diffusers and nanobubbles and this, that, and so on.
Obviously, the more back pressure from the water, the deeper the unit is. So you have to give that more to be able to overcome that. So we're rebalancing. And to give you some idea in terms of depth.
You can buy a bicycle. It's a great form of transportation. You can buy a Ferrari. It's a great form of transportation. But if what you need is a helicopter, and that's pretty much what it is. It's not about aeration, bubbling air into the water or whatever. It's fundamentally about destratification and reoxygenation all the way down to the bottom. And so this is part of the kind of the battle we fight. Because a lot of people think what we provide is an aeration system and diffusers, which are one of those things that we put up there. What we describe are devices that we put out into the lake. They're rapid-acting destratification and oxygen restoration devices. Radar units is what we call them, because that's what they do. And it's just, the simplest thing is, rather than confuse people with microbubbles and nanobubbles and this, that, and that, just say it's a rapidly acting destratification, oxygen restoration. So to give you some evidence of that, this is a project that a survey we were doing a couple of weeks ago. So what we do at 1 foot intervals is measure the dissolved oxygen level. And you can see it's and basically
water temperature at the top is a big factor in cyano. And the more stratified you are, the more it's the top that heats up from, you know, the sun and the atmospheric temperature. It's been shown that it's something like, and I'm talking centigrade here, but at 25 degrees you'll find
it's and basically 5 milligrams per 100 ml is what you're looking at as being aerobic. So anything above 5 is okay. What happened here, as you can see, is you get a sudden drop off there. I mean, it's down to 0.13, and that happens very rapidly over a foot. That's 31 feet, so that list actually goes way down to the carpet. But we did it not just in one place, but we did several. And as you can see, it's a pretty common thing. At that sort of level, your oxygenation is just dropping off. That is that stratification. Sometimes it will take place over several feet. Sometimes it's quite acute and latent like that. What that means is, fish can survive and operate.
If we can get a guy that was fishing here and interview him with the...
In the top 12 feet here out of 31. Below that, you've got an anaerobic environment where the fish are not going to be able to operate, and nor will any other oxygen-breathing life forms, which are what we want for a proper healthy lake. So, if you look at Peekskill, this was, we do test and monitor at 4 points. This was May last year when we first came. And as you'll see, if you can read the figures, at 23 feet,
yeah,
we're at 3.1.
We're going to hit the limits.
Okay, sure, yeah.
Limits, go ahead.
So if you look at this lake, it basically runs down like that and then opens up the far end. Sam said put it here. So we're doing long runs down to the bottom end. It would have made it slightly cheaper if we'd been able to finish the position in the middle, so we had a whole lot of shorter runs. So we have done...
It's like 2 reservoirs attached. He said that he used the word miraculous that I'm using now for Lake Peekskill. He said it was like magic. We put this system in.
You know, can't beat that. Yeah. Plus, there's no noise pollution. Yeah. That's a good question. Yeah.
They thought they saw some green, which came back negative. What's your monthly power bill? It's between $500 and $600. Okay. That's with night signal? Yes, night signal. Okay. Yep. Yeah.
I would love
love to do that. That's a good idea. Powered by a big solar.
Absolutely. No, wouldn't be big. Wouldn't be big.
Oh, wind power, but I don't see any wind.
Wouldn't be big.
Much wind.
Maybe wave power.
Yeah, there you go.
What happened is we were.
They treated it, come back periodically to treat it, and we were able to drink this water. And that's their Department of Health out of Albany County. So I was pretty impressed, and that's what, plus the bid price that came in, and why we went with Clean Flow, and the reputation exceeded them. But you go on.
Thank you.
You need to drink water? You sound like you need some water.
No, I'm okay. I'm just taking another lozenge, so I'm sucking as I talk. I'm okay. So, like I say, we do a lot of these reservoirs, and that's exactly their problems. And typically, with the bigger reservoirs and the deeper reservoirs, they're kind of snookered because the water in the upper level, and normally they can choose from what level they want to draw the water. The water's in the upper level, we're digesting that stuff so that it becomes absorbable by the soil. But it is because it's digested, it's bioavailable for plants and things like that. So those nutrients all get taken up there and are not flowing down and ending up in thing. We've had a situation where people, we had one, it was actually the embassy of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, the DRC, and they had a campus with about 30 people. They were having to soak their septic tank out every month because it was just so clogged up and backlogged and soaked that it wasn't working. Since they started using our stuff, which was about 4 years ago, they haven't actually cleaned it out once. It just becomes self-sustaining, and it's digesting, it's just water and carbon dioxide.
You're showing them inside. You should
Okay, if you want to have a look inside. Where the sunlight penetrates, it becomes full of algae. So if they draw from there, it clogs up their filters, so they lose production time because they've got to backwash and clear up and so on. And eventually, often they can't keep up supply, so water pressure drops and so on. And they have to use more chemicals to treat and kill off the algae and so on. So their chemical use goes up and their production time goes down. If they draw from deeper down, that's where you get the hydrogen sulfide, the geosmins, you'll get high levels of metal, so you get discolorations of water, bad tasting water, so they kind of stupid, they just can't produce decent quality water either way. So what we've shown in a lot of these is, one, we're able to reduce, because we improve the water quality, we improve the amount of chemicals that they need to treat the water. Now, when you use a lot of chlorine, that creates byproducts called TTHMs, which are toxic tetrahydromethanes. Halomethane, sorry, yeah. So, and basically they are carcinogenic. So the more they're treating, they might then get the water right, but they're not compliant on this. So here's a prime example. Show that in Puerto Rico. It's 800 odd acres. There's 2 water purification plants operating off that reservoir. That is their treatment chemical usage. And basically it's dropped by 50%. So that's what they used to use of each of the 3 types, there's coagulants, there's lime, and there's chlorine.
We're looking for solutions, and I started to read about, the chemicals, aeration, and all that. So I put out a request for a proposal, not a bid, but a proposal, and 3 companies came back to me, Clean Flow, and 2 others, I forget what the names. And I contacted each one, and I said, where have you done work? And they each gave me a location, and I went to visit 2 of the places from the 2 different companies. I wasn't that impressed. I still saw some green patches here and there. Brian, who's not here, the head of the company, said, go to Coxsackie Prison. We just put one there about 3 years ago. Okay. And I went to the prison, and that's their drinking water. 2 reservoirs full of drinking water that they could not use. I went up there, and the guy brought me to a shed, a little bit bigger than this, with a much bigger power, because they had over 100 acres. And I asked the building and grounds guy, I said, so what's going on now? He said, the water has passed every single test for the past 2 years. And he used the one who used the word miraculous. He said it's miraculous. We don't know how they did it, but they did it, and it works great.